Kia ora and good evening, and welcome to the 60th episode of the Huddy Hui, and we've come into it, the big show, the Jubilee Cup final for 2022. Petone taking on Northern United. That grand final will be kicking off at 3 o'clock on Saturday at Jerry Collins Stadium. So that will be an epic final. Petone, with only the one loss this season and one draw, can they, as well as winning the Swindell Shield, go on to win the Jubilee Cup? They haven't won it since 2005, so a big opportunity for the Villagers, and someone who knows all about how Petone's been playing this season is Brad Pritchard. He is the forward for Petone. Brad, many thanks for coming on the Huddy Hui. Last weekend's semi-final, was there the belief that you would win, because there was a while there where your second half wasn't going well?
Yeah, cheers, Brad. Thanks for having me. Me personally, when we were down, obviously about 8 points to 12, I kind of had a bit of self-doubt in me, but just because obviously we were at the wrong end of the field for quite some time and couldn't seem to get out of there. But we were quite lucky that when they had a penalty kick near the end of the game with probably, 5 minutes to go, something like that, he missed it. And then we had a 22 dropout. And obviously, I think they knocked the ball on or something. And we eventually got the turnover and just piggybacked off about 4 or 5 penalties down the field and just got down there into the line. And once we just started with those hard carries, shit, we could actually do this, and we did, which is good, and it was quite surreal to be a part of that, really.
80 metres it took for Petone to travel up the field up to the 84th minute. But let's talk about that winning try, because that was just outrageous scenes right on the full time there, with Ben Brooking diving over behind the in goal, and that southern end just exploded. Yeah,
it did. As I was saying before, it was just crazy. Didn't know what to think of it. It was like bloody hell. We just won the semi-final, and obviously it's pretty huge for us as a club because we haven't been to a final since I think 2005 when we last won it, which was obviously against North as well. It was pretty cool just to see that all the supporters just come rushing in as well.
Let's talk about Petone's season. Only the one loss and one draw. What has been the catalyst to Petone's strength this season?
I think depth and also hard. We're a team of hard workers, but I'd say mostly depth. We might not have the most talent-wise, all-star players such as Peter and Riley, but just a lot of hard-nosed players that get stuck in and work hard and aren't willing to, go down without a fight. And also we've got a mix of young guys and also experience as well, which I think is key. So that's probably been the biggest biggest reason why we've done so well, I think.
We've started 5 games this season and also 5 off the bench, including last weekend. Were you expecting to start or play so many games this season?
I don't know. At the start of the year during pre-season, I got told, this year could be a big step up for you. With one of the boys from last year's team not being there. So you just got to, prove your worth at pre-season and trainings and work hard. But injuries did happen as well. So I probably did start more games than what I probably would have. But it's been quite a huge step up for me from obviously last year being in Colts, and then obviously this year being my first official season in the Prems. Of
course, we're looking at where you played this season. You're a bit of a versatile forward, Brad. Of course, have you played blindside, open side, and lock this season? What is your preferred position and why?
I'd say probably 6 blindside. I do obviously play quite often at lock, which I don't mind. But just obviously being on the side of that scrum, I just love to get off the scrum quicker, which is obviously key for me. I consider myself quite fit and obviously versatile, so I'd say 6 would be my preferred position.
And what do you think about your role? Are you seen as an impact player or someone that does the hard graft?
A bit of both. I feel like I've been told, obviously, coming off the bench, I do bring that the impact. Obviously, last Saturday, our lineouts weren't going so well, and then obviously I came on and kind of, not to talk myself up, but kind of they started to go all right after losing or messing up 5 in a row. So which was pretty cool. But yeah, I'd say I do also put in the hard yards, like hit the rucks and all that. So yeah.
You made your premier debut in 2021 and you played against Parramatta Pliverton that day. We're expecting to play for the Prem so early.
Not really. Oh, I feel like, I don't know, that's a tough question. I'd say so. I was told, obviously, like last year that, you know, if you put the hard work in, you'll obviously get, because you've got the talent to play at that level. But no, it kind of came to a surprise for me when I first got told that I'd be playing, obviously, first game, debuting last year. But obviously, hard work pays off. So, yeah.
You're a part of a very special Petone cult side last season, Brad, and you played in that unbelievable final in the rain. Did you enjoy the occasion, or do you think the game should have been played another day?
That's a tough one. I feel like it should have been played probably the week after, because obviously the next 2 Saturdays after that one, the weather was perfect for it. And I feel like we were obviously a bit robbed where we should have got the home final as well, considering we finished obviously on top of the table. But I mean, it is what it is, I guess. And yeah, it was tough to take, but I think the boys, like, you know, we really learned from it. I feel like, just, you know, because we'd done obviously the first round that year, we finished bottom, and then kind of had a talk amongst ourselves as a group and said, "Oh, what's going wrong?" And you know, something just changed, something just snapped, and we went undefeated in that second round, made the final, but unfortunately just didn't get there in the end. But yeah.
Who are some of the key influences at the Petone Rugby Club that have helped your rugby journey?
Probably first say my old man. He's been a big catalyst for me, just influencing me, just, you know, telling me to get down to the club and work hard. Also, I'd probably say this year the head coach Ryan Piper, and also forwards coach Frigid Messina, who was obviously the head coach of the Colts last year. So they've been quite influential to me this year. And also some of the older Prem boys, you know, looking up to them and seeing what they do on the field and what they do at trainings and how they go about themselves. And yeah.
Do you get many feedback from some of the club legends there at the club rooms afterwards? They pass on about what they thought about your individual performance in a game?
Yeah. I get a few of the older club legends come up to me, shake my hand, say, "Oh yeah, you played really well," and they enjoy that I'm like such a hard worker. Like, you know, I make tackles, do all the basic stuff right. Don't try anything too flashy. But yeah, it's always nice to get feedback from them. You know, really helps me or makes me feel, you know, that I've put in the hard work, and there's people out there that are actually watching and thinking I'm quite a quality player.
I know you've got one eye on the big show on Saturday, but the Petone Colts have what has been dubbed a virtual final on Saturday at home. They reckon they're hoping for midday, but they're playing against the side that beat you in the final last year, OBU. But the Colts this season have been going pretty strong.
Yeah, I mean, they obviously got OBU this week. You know, it's at home as well, on number 1, I think. So I think, you know, the boys will be up for it. Obviously, with us playing same for the final for Jubilee, they'll be wanting to, you know, really get that win, then come support us after that. Really, yeah.
Bit of family history in rugby. You mentioned the old man Brent before. Tell us about what you know about his rugby career. And Chairman Wayne Smith said he's got a unique nickname.
Well, I know of one nickname he's got, but he's probably got thousands. But he started at Avalon. Obviously, he's originally from Hawke's Bay region, but when he first came down to Lower Hutt, he started out at Avalon. Played there for quite some time. Was a bit of a legend there, and then obviously things changed. He moved to Petone. Don't know how many years he was at Petone for, but I don't think he actually played Premier Rugby, like the top level for Petone. He played, I think, senior ones, and then I think, yeah, that's about it. That's all I really know. Don't know too much about his rugby career really, other than played Avalon for quite some time, won a few Jubilees there, I think, and then finished off at Petone.
You're a former student of St. Bernard's College in Lower Hutt. Tell us about your time there and also being part of the first 15.
Yeah, well, I obviously went to St. Bernard's. I thought it was, I enjoyed my time there. I was there from year 9 to year 13. There's just a thing about brotherhood there, and it is true what they say about it. It's like, brotherhood, you stick with those boys throughout pretty much the rest of your life, I'd say. I'm still quite close with a lot of the boys from there. And obviously, yeah, with Bernard's as well, it's not, I wouldn't say it's a premier rugby school. Like we weren't at the bottom, but we were always in the middle. We never really had the special kind of treatment that the other schools like Stream and St. Pat's Town and all that get, so we kind of, weren't really the premier side in those grades, but we always did work hard and try and be the best we could be during those times. And we did get a few shellackings when we did come up against those top sides, but we just took that on the chin and tried to do the best we could and make that top 4, but we didn't really get there in the end. I think the best we got was like 5th or something. It was middle of the table, but yeah.
What was your most memorable game playing for the first 15?
Most memorable game? I'd probably say, this is a tough one. Probably the one, it's kind of memorable for, it was a loss, but I'd say Div 2 when I was in year 12 against St. Pat's Stream, making the final for Div 2 there. I think I just had a blind of a game, like I played quite well, and I got a lot of praise from it, but it was just quite an exciting game to be a part of. Like it was back and forth. In the end, we obviously didn't get the result, but it was an amazing game to be a part of.
Also, during your time at St. Bernard, you also took up the sport of rowing. And tell us about your time rowing, in particular with the Petone Rugby Club, and how far did you go with your rowing career?
So, yeah, I did rowing for about 3 years, or 2.5. It was more so to do with because I wanted to get fitter for rugby because knowing me, I can be a bit lazy with the old just going for runs and stuff like that. So I was like, I need to think of another way to kind of keep my off-season fitness. So rowing was a good idea. And I did get to do like a thing called K1 and K2, which is like North Island champs. And I did have the potential to go further in my rowing, but it kind of got to a point where the boys' crew, we didn't have a proper coach. We were practically coaching ourselves for like a whole season, which, is a bit of a waste of time, really, when you're obviously learning yourself. You don't have a proper coach. So I kind of just gave that up after two or so years, but I did get told by a high-level rower that I did definitely have a chance to go further, but just wasn't for me, I guess. So didn't really enjoy those early morning trainings, getting up at like 5 in the morning, going out in the cold water. Just kind of got sick of it in the end, I guess.
Yeah, 5:30 is off a long time to wake up in the morning. It's also pretty cold as well. What do you do outside of rugby, Brad?
Not much really. Go gym. That's probably about it, really. Not much.
And of course, one of our sponsors you work for as well. So you've got to do a plug for him tonight, don't you?
Yeah. Shout out Mike Pinfold, Plumbing and Drain Lane. Hope you're listening.
And how long have you been working for Mike for in that job?
Only I think just 4 weeks now. So pretty fresh, really. Yeah.
North's on Saturday, the big show. You've beaten them twice this season. However, it's a different scenario this Saturday. It's the Jubilee Cup. Of course, what does Petone need to do to win the final? Because it's going to be a different North's team on the paddock this Saturday. Yeah,
definitely. Obviously I think they'll probably have, the likes of TJ Perinara and Duplessis Karifi and those Garden Bashett brothers playing for them. We can never, obviously, we've beaten them twice this year, but we can never, it's a different game every time, we can never underestimate them. And obviously it's at their home ground as well. So they'll have a big support cast around them this Saturday, as will we. But I think just the key for us for Saturday is just sticking to our structure and not getting kind of, keeping level heads, like not getting too panicked if we're down on the scoreboard or we're making errors. Just kind of stick to our kind of motto we have, which is win-win, which is what's important now, what's important next. So yeah, from making a mistake, just focus on what's next, scrum's next, and then winning that scrum, so stuff like that.
And what is the club doing to promote the team in the Jubilee Cup final? But I presume that there's a few things going on behind the scenes.
Yeah, so they'll be busing quite a few supporters out to Porirua Park to come watch us play, and also they've got these special T-shirts to wear. People can get from the shop, which is pretty cool. It's obviously big occasion for us as a club, having not been to the Jubilee in 17 years. So that's quite pretty cool, I'd say. Yeah.
Petone has won the Jubilee Cup 22 times, but haven't won it since 2005. Can you break the duck this Saturday?
I'd like to say yes. I think we can. We've got the team to do it. We just got to believe in ourselves and back ourselves, and I definitely think we can do it. Yeah.
Well, Brad, it's been fantastic having you on the Hui tonight. All the best for Saturday. We'll see you out there.
Cheers. Thanks, Brad. Thanks for having me.
Brad Pritchard, promising young player coming through the Petone system, and has had a strong season in the Villages colours. So, Brad Pritchard, watch out for him on Saturday in the Jubilee Cup final. Speaking about the Jubilee Cup final, it's Wellington Club Finals Day as well. First game up is 12:30 p.m, which is on Jerry Collins Stadium or Porirua Park number 1, Old Boys University versus Oriental Rongotai. That would be a real doozy of that match. On field number 2 at Porirua Park in the HD Morgan Premier 2 competition, Stokes Valley hosts Petone's third side, and that game's at 1:30 p.m. That should be a real doozy, that one as well. And then we've got the big show at 3 p.m, Petone versus Norths at Jerry Collins Stadium. That will be an epic game. Petone, 1 loss and 1 draw this season, and Norths with a few important players back in their roster. It's going to be a thriller there at Jerry Collins Stadium. And all 3 of those games will be live streamed on sideline.live, including the Jubilee Cup will also be filmed for Grassroots Rugby as well. So you'll be able to watch that next week as well. That is the Huddy Hui for this evening. And all the best to Petone and Norths for their build-up to the Jubilee Cup final, and have a sterling weekend. I'm Brad Hudson. Ciao for now.